Hello. Let's see, Okay, today's video is on the aroma freedom technique. And I mentioned that in, I believe, our second Zoom session under different ways to bring healing. Excuse me. Real quick, as you all know, you'll hear me say this almost every video. I have notes on my whiteboard. I have a book here, and I have my water, and I also have a few notes in front of me. So if you see me look away, it's not that I'm distracted. I'm just reading notes, keeping track of time, because our time is valuable and I want to honor that and make sure that I don't miss sharing with you any tools or information. Okay, so let's jump right in. I want to keep this fairly quick. I'm going to take a sip of water though first. Okay, the Aroma Freedom Technique, or AFT, was developed by Dr. Benjamin Purkis, who is a licensed clinical psychologist. And he has been in practice for a lot of years, and he's also incorporated the AFT technique into his practice with great success. And so he's gone on to share with us how to use the technique on ourselves. He also has like a certification course if you're interested in helping other people gain freedom. One thing I do want to say is that if there is like a serious issue going on that a technique may not be all that's needed. So if there's like severe PTSD or RTS or complex PTSD symptoms or any other stuff going on, then you may need to use this with a licensed practitioner. So, but for most of us, and this is great, it's helped me. This is the book that he wrote. It has all the technique, all the information in it, and then it has reference things in the back. And this is a great little tool that you can go back and reuse time and time again. So there's a link to this book in the resource section under worksheets, the self-work, and you can pick up a copy for yourself. So there's a few different things that you can do. You can use the standard AFT. There's also like an emotional memory release one. And then he has the aroma reset technique. And this is just a little pamphlet. And I was going through making some notes to make sure that I shared like all as many nuggets as I could. And I think what I'm going to do is do a separate, maybe we'll do the reset technique in the group in next month or maybe the month after or so, after we've all had time to experience and go through some goals and things with the standard AFT, because using them combined is also really good too. The reset is great if you're just, in the midst of a bad day and you've got just stuff going on, you can't get that thought out of your head, or just you're irritated, agitated, then the reset technique is something that I go to, and it helps a lot. So let's talk about our sense of smell is actually connected to our emotional brain, right? So our olfactory nerves, they connect directly to the limbic system in our brain. And that's where we process emotions. That's where we determine if we're safe or not, if we're in danger. And we talked about the 4 Fs, right? Fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. And so this is the part of the brain that determines where we need to go with those 4 F's. So it's very interesting how our smell is directly linked to our emotional brain. So with that being said, there's so much science behind the fact that smell can actually help us to retrain the brain, to kind of switch those difficult memories or thoughts can actually be changed through the use of smell. And an example of that is do you ever smell like a certain perfume or maybe cookies and it brings you back? You suddenly remember a time when you were a child, maybe a grandparent or somebody that was really special to you, and you also begin to feel a certain way. You feel safe, you feel cozy. The smell of like warm chocolate chip cookies to me gives me that I feel like warm and cozy on a cold day, and you just kind of relax. So it can trigger some of those good memories, right? But it can also trigger some bad memories. That's how powerful our sense of smell is. And that's also what makes it such an amazing tool to use when we're healing and retraining our brain. So let's jump in. I want to look at my notes and make sure that I get everything in here real quick. Animals use smell for their sense of survival. They can smell prey. They can smell when they're in danger. So it's very much connected to a lot of things, that definite connection to that emotional brain. And it can actually be a huge benefit to us too. You can, when rain's coming, you can go outside and you have that smell and that triggers, right? You start to feel a certain way. I know my grandma and my mom were very specific. My mom still does. My grandma's in heaven, but they were very specific colognes. And I can smell that on somebody else and I go right back to, I think of them, and then I have certain feelings about that. So that's just another example. AFT is a new method, fairly new. It's been around for, it's newer to us. Again, Dr. Perkis has been using it for a number of years. And he combines pure essential oils with established psychotherapy practices to enhance deep emotional release and gentle reconfiguring of thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. And I took that right from his book. That's not me making any claims. That is his words in his book, and he's the one that created this. So we can kind of uproot some of those blockages or some of those memories that are holding us back or keeping us from moving forward in our healing. And then I love this. We can do a deep emotional release with that, because we know that trauma is stored in our physical body as well as in our mind, right? Our emotions and our feelings. So with that being said, if we can have a deep emotional release, we can also get those out. We can get some of that trauma out of our physical body as well. So that's exciting. And then a gentle reconfiguring of those thoughts, beliefs, and feelings. Gentle is always good. Okay. And this is a process too. There's, isn't like a magic fix. So, but it's great. I love it. I'm not, if you tell me to go sit and meditate and not do anything, not have music or something going on, it's very, very difficult for me to do it. And a lot of that is because of past trauma. I understand that. Some of that is because of the way I'm wired. But a lot of it is linked to trauma. And I have talked to so many people and they're like, I failed at meditating. And that's okay. That is okay. So this is something that is a way for me to kind of get into that meditative place and work on my affirmations. I'm doing something, but I'm also releasing and meditating, if that makes sense. So let's jump right in. There's 12 steps and it uses essential oils. Now, when I talk about essential oils, I am talking about pure, unadulterated essential oils. There's one brand that I fully believe in, and give you a little of my background in that as a natural health practitioner and having been in that industry for many, 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 many years, probably 30, it's been over 30 years now that I've been in the natural health industry. I never believed in essential oils until about maybe it's been about 10 years now. And in fact, I would tell people and clients, don't go there unless you're just wanting to swap out like candles, like fake fragrances for essential oils. But even then, some of the essential oils that are on the market are actually not completely natural. They have other things in them. So I was a firm believer in not using essential oils for all of those years, for like 20 some years. And because they didn't work, the ones in the health food store, the ones I think you can even get them in places like Walmart now, but if you look, it's just fake fragrance. That there's no benefit to you other than it's going to do damage, right? Because we know that fragrance has a lot of toxins in it that are harmful to us, especially now that we know that our sense of smell, it goes directly into our emotional brain and it can change things in our body. So one of the first things I did, a long time ago when I learned about just the toxicity of candles and fragrances and stuff, that was one of the first things I got rid of. And also, I've had migraines for many, 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 many years, ever since I was a little girl. And so, perfume smells would sometimes trigger them. Or if you're in a migraine, if you have migraines, then you know what smell does. It's horrible. Any kind of smell is just so enhanced. And if it's not a healthy, natural smell, then it can make that headache 10 times worse. And it can actually trigger migraines and other like allergies and inflammation and things like that. So if you're still using fragrances and things like that, I highly recommend swapping them out for some really good essential oils. Now, I first learned of the company that I use now in one of my natural health classes. Now, mind you, I was a complete skeptic. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to breeze through this class because there's no way I'm going to recommend to my clients that essential oils can be used and have any kind of actual benefits. To me, it was just a waste of money, and it's my reputation on the line. So why would I recommend something to someone who it's not going to work? It's just going to cost them money and they end up frustrated, right? So I learned of Young Living is the company that I use. I learned about them about 10 years ago, and it took me a while to get on board with that. And I thought, so many people are having success, I thought I'm going to try just a little bit. Now, I always thought I was allergic to lavender, and one of the oils I thought, I'm not going to get lavender. Which one can I get? I didn't like peppermint. Peppermint triggered a migraine for me. And those are the two that most people start with, peppermint and lavender. And so I thought, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Where do I go? So I just grabbed, I think it was like Stress Away or one of the blends or something. And I thought, yeah, I'm just going to try it. And I reluctantly tried it with the mindset that it was not going to work. And you know what? I had zero reaction. I loved it. And then I dove into that, and that just opened up a whole other world to me, where I personally have had amazing results in the 10 years. And clients and family members, skeptics, my fiance is super skeptical. He does not, he's a sugar guy. And I mean, it's been somewhat of an ongoing battle in the house because he's a complete opposite. He would eat horribly all the time if he could, and use, you know, unnatural things. So he even told me, actually this morning, he said, I don't want to believe in this, but I have to because of the results that he's having. And it's helped him with his anxiety. It's helped him with, a few other things. So if he says that, then I know, I'm like, yes, those hippie oils work. And he has told me for a year and a half that they don't work. He's not going to do it. And now he is in the place of getting on board. He's like, I have to believe because they actually do work. So with that being said, I've had a lot of people say, I will recommend an oil. I'm like, please don't go. The health food store oils are just as bad. Even if they say they're organic, they only have anything organic only has to be 8% organic for them to get the label. Organic means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. It's all about the sourcing. There's different ways of distillation. There's chemical. You don't want the chemically distilled oils. There's bottom of the bat. There's like a whole other. I could teach an entire class on just how oils are made and bottled, as well as supplements and herbs and protein powders and all of that, because that in itself is usually what determines good versus bad. And unfortunately, a lot of that has to do with the price. So enough being said about that. If you want to try this technique, I highly recommend Young Living oils if you want to have results. If not, then I actually would recommend it to you. Probably not even do this because I don't know that it would really work for you. So I don't know. That's up to you. But the Young Living oils are the place to go. So try them out. All right, let's move on to the 12-step AFT process. Step number 1, you're going to set your goal, your intention. What is it that you want to accomplish with this? Where are you feeling? Maybe you have set a goal and you're having some kind of a block, or maybe you're just out of the door. I want to set this goal. One thing in our self-work this month was picking our number 1 post-traumatic struggle that we wanted to begin the healing process on. So a goal needs to be very specific. That's best because that is where, that's good in the process. So an example of a goal would be, I am free of whatever your number 1, let's say, let's say it's the ability to relax. I have the ability to relax easily. Let's just say with easily. It comes natural to me. The ability to relax comes natural to me. They're just getting really specific with it. Let's see, one is self-confidence. I am self-confident now, and I say I am self-confident. Actually, just I am self-confident is your goal. And then we want to write that down. So we want to say that out loud. We want to get in our quiet space where we created that last month and transition our safe, quiet little place in our home. We want to get in that place and do the process, because you're going to have great results with this. So write down our goal, set our goal. And then number 2, after we say the goal aloud, we want to listen. We want to listen to the voice that tells us that we can't achieve this goal, that goal can't happen. Okay? Then the third thing we want to do is we want to identify how we feel when we hear that voice. Then we want to find that negative feeling in our body. Now, for me, the inability to relax, that negative, that's across my shoulders and my neck. Okay, so you want to listen and you want to feel. Sometimes it may not be connected to a physical part in your body. I have had that happen to me one time. Every other time, it actually, there is a sensation that I can feel in my body. Then drift back to a time when you felt the same exact way. And it can be either a recent time or it can be a time from long ago. Okay? And this is where one set of oils comes in. Now, you're going to smell the memory release mixture while focusing on the thought, the feeling, and the emotion of it. And the memory release mixture is just a few drops of 3 different oils. And it's stress away, frankincense, and lavender. It's 3 oils, and you can just put them on a little cotton ball, or you can put them in your hand and smell them. I like to put them in, mix it up ahead of time, and put it in a cotton ball in a plastic Ziploc bag, because sometimes we need to go back through and repeat the process, and you'll understand why in a few minutes. So we smell the memory release oil, and we think we're focusing on the negative thought, the feelings, and the emotions. Okay, we're just going with it. The next step, number 7, is we're going to see what happens to those images, those feelings, and those thoughts. They begin to change. Now, you can smell another oil in this process, and there's Inner Child or Release are 2 of the good ones. And this, take a few minutes with this. This isn't like bam, bam, bam. Take a few minutes and just feel, listen, see what happens to the images. The next step is you're going to notice new beliefs that start to emerge. You want to identify the creative ideas related to your goal. So what are you thinking now? And I like to use Inner Child when I do this, because it does kind of open up that creativity, and you do start to feel different. Number 9, state your original goal aloud, and you're going to rate it from a 1 to 10. 1 being not possible at all, and 10 being like I got this. I'm feeling 100% positive this is going to happen. Okay. Now, if you're an 8 or below, then you go back to step number 2. Okay. You're going to go back to that voice. Identify how you feel when you hear that voice. And then you're going to go find where you feel it in your body. Drift back to a time. And sometimes when this happens, it'll be a different time, recent or long ago. And then you're going to smell the memory release oil mixture again, this is why I like to have it ready to go in a baggie. Then you can just open it up and you can smell it in the baggie on the cotton ball or a little piece of cotton pad or something. And then see what happens to the image, the thoughts, and the feelings. And you can use the inner child here or release. And then you notice the new beliefs, and those are starting to emerge. Identify the creative ideas surrounding your goal. And then you're going to state your goal aloud again, and you're going to rate it from 1 to 10. Now, if it's still an 8 or below, you can go and you can repeat this process maybe like 3 to 4 times. Sometimes if it's a really deep-seated belief, then it does need to happen a few times. If it continues, then you would want to go through like the memory release process, which is in the book, and we will probably learn how to do that in the group again at some point too. So then let's say we're at a 9. We're at a 9, we got this. So then we're going to move on to step number 10, and we're going to create an affirmation that expresses our new positive belief. Okay, so I relax. How about this? I am relaxed now and I stay. Or I am self-confident now and always. Let's see, I had another, one of the other goals I wrote down as an example is I am in a loving and healthy relationship. So an affirmation with that could be, I am loving and healthy relationship-wise now, and I stay. So you can create whichever, and it will ring true to you. If you need help with that, let me know. So now we have our affirmation. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use an oil called Believe or Transformation. I love Believe. I love it, love it, love it. In fact, I have it going. I have Clarity is another one that you can use if you are trying to determine, maybe you just can't think of a goal or an intention and you need some help, like kind of narrowing it down. I use Clarity because Clarity, I keep it in my diffuser when I'm working. A lot of times if I'm thinking about, what am I going to teach? How am I going to help these? How am I going to help my people? Then, and I need clarity, right? So that I use. And I also have, let me see, I'll show you what I have going here. I have Clarity, Common Sense. Common sense is great. I need common sense. I think we all need a little common sense. And I have Believe going. So now you can reach up, you can grab some Believe, and you want to get in a power pose. Okay, we all know Wonder Woman, right? Standing up, hands on our hips, chest out, deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Or some people like to do this one. Those of us that have been in church, we know this is a good pose. I prefer this one because we're going to do this like for a few minutes. And so this is just easier for me to do. So we're going to smell some Believe. We're going to stand up, power pose, and we are going to say our affirmation, right? We're going to do this for 2 minutes. And we're going to do this 2 times a day for at least a week or 2. Okay, sometimes you need to do it more. But that's when things will shift. That's retraining the brain. It's getting new memories associated with these smells, things like that. All right, number 12. This is the last step. We're going to make a plan and take action daily based on our goal, our intention. We're going to make a plan. And the plan can be simply I'm going to say my affirmations, and I'm going to do that for 2 minutes, 2 times a day. That can be the plan. If it's, other things like working on your ability to relax, maybe it could be like, I'm going to take a bath, or, just different things. You can build however you choose to build upon it. If it's like a work goal or something like that, then or like a productivity goal, that's where a lot of times the plan kind of comes into place. Well, I'm going to, do bump, 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 about goals and things. Take some action. What action steps are you going to take in addition to doing your affirmations and your pose a few times a day to help you to achieve your goal? And then you can update those intentions too. So maybe, you're doing this and a few days into it, you're noticing that there's another negative voice that's coming up. So you can go back and repeat the process, and you can update your goals. You can tweak them. You can, add to them, and you can change things. Okay. So if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Again, the name of the book is the Aroma Freedom Technique. And it's a very easy read. It's just 135 pages. It's just a great resource tool to have on hand. And then essential oils, I have a link to this book, and then I have a link to the oils that I use in the resource page. You can also ask me, and I can shoot you a link. Ask me any questions, and I'd be more than happy to help you start incorporating this process into your healing journey. And I'd love to hear testimonies and how it's going. And even if you're having a block or two in it, if you're something doesn't feel right, like it's working right for you, let me know that too, because I would love to help you. All right. I love you. I will see you on the next video or chat with you in the group. And until then, I love you. Have a great day.